When they drove them from the land, people said it was a punishment from God for their sins.
What sins? We were farmers. We worked the barren land. We never had a chance to sin.
Their chiefs had changed into landlords, and their factors and their shepherds drove them to the sea, east and west. They were blown to the sea like leaves. They were scattered on the shores and steered into a desert of wide water.
We wondered where we'd find a harvest now.
Some ventured on the edges of the ocean just to feed their own.
We clung onto the coast like limpets. We were dying.
We who for generations had lived in the glens and on the hills
were dying.
This is Katrine, the woman I will marry, and this is Tormod, her husband, and in her belly is their son, Finn. This is the story of how they came to me, and how the herring came to save us, the silver darlings.
Why don't you go? They'll be waiting.
Yes, they'll be waiting for me now. I'll be going. Now don't you come down, there's no need.
All right. Why don't you go?
Katrine!
Roddy! Roddy! Oh, you've had a dirty morning by the look of you.
It was dirty enough.
Any of the other boats out today?
Did you want to talk to me, Mr. Hendry?
Son, forgive me, but it's a bloody miracle, I have to tell you.
What's a bloody miracle, Mr. Hendry?
Look,
I don't have the English, Mr. Hendry.
the Parliament had to raise the bounty to 4 shillings a barrel.
4?
Fortunes! Roddy, that water out there is going to be a gold mine for those who know how to take their advantage.
And you do?
Oh, I know a gold mine when I see one. I know a man with an eye for the silver seam. I know you. Why should not men like you and I, men of the place, why should we not benefit?
I hope we will.
Oh, hoping's no bloody use. Forgive me. What's the damned use of your wee boats with 2 or 3 nets? You don't want to make a pound or 2, Roddy. You want to make 100 pounds.
But the curing, the cleaning of a catch like that.
I've made my mind up to set myself up here as a curer in Dunster. Here, Roddy, not going a begging to men who drop in for a season to make a bit of money quick, but an industry. Here, on this coast, in Dunster. Ours, Roddy, ours.
Yours, you would mean?
Ours. I may not offer so much a crown as a curer come from Wick, but what I offer I will pay, for you'll know where to find me. Will you fish me?
There's nothing for us here. Not for me, or you, or himself. Nothing on the land. The men at sea are making money. Can I do less than them if I have their strength? It's your help I'm lacking.
My help!
Your blessing.
I'll never let you go.
You know I'll have to go tomorrow. We can't be foolish forever. Come now.
Tormod, the time! Come on!
You're in me now. I'll never let you go.
I'll pay 7 and 6 pence a crown.
It's a big offer.
What's the size of your boat?
13 feet. But not all of it's mine.
How would you like to skipper a boat of a 20-foot keel?
Are you mocking me now?
Roddy, wait! When I saw this notice yesterday in Wick, I bought this boat. She's not new, but she rings like a bell. She's yours to skipper. You choose your own crew, you collect her.
I'd want to own her.
And I'd not want a fool for a partner.
What is this behaviour? Katrine!
You'll die! I'll have to live alone! I dreamed about you!
Stop!
I'll make the boat over to you now at the price I paid. She's called the Morning Star. You'll owe me the money, and I'll have to be paid off before you or your crew draw anything. When it's paid, the boat is yours. Well, say what's on your mind, man.
I have £7 of my own.
I'll take 6. You'll need money for the crew.
All right.
The Marifirth is burning, Roddy. A Fraserburgh, a Banff. We must do it here. No half measures. Creels of silver herring into creels of silver crowns on this coast. Like rivers. Like silver rivers.
You and I were walking in a wild wood. I looked slowly over my shoulder. In the darkness, a large black horse came towards us, sinking and lifting its huge head. You said, "That's my horse." You looked at me in a strange, smiling way, and then you were on its back. I looked away. The animal pounded its forelegs on the ground and then galloped directly into a black loch. And I watched you and the black horse, sink silently beneath. I dreamt this. I made this happen!
Cruel to say that she made it happen. But Katrine had the inner sight. Her ears were filled with an ominous wailing. She put her hands over her ears to stop the sound. She saw an image, an empty boat, broken masts, a large navy ship. A cruel shiver ran through her. Cruel to know what others cannot see.
Look, Mr. Henry, it's the Morning Star. By God, she's low. She's low in the water.
What's she carrying, man?
Herring, Mr. Henry. 30 crans. She's carrying 30 crans.
30 crans in a trip. Oh, he's been in them. He's been in them to the gunnels. 30 crans in a single day.
32. £12 sterling, Mr. Henry.
Well done. Well done.
But this man's good fortune was nothing to Katrine. She had seen a future that was forlorn. Katrine of the strong will and troubled dreams is confronted by her sister.
What will happen to the croft?
I thought of giving it over to Angus. He's wanting a place of his own now, because he'd like to be married. Norman can have Tormod's share in the boat.
He will come back, Katrine. Perhaps they all will. Men who are taken by the press gangs, sometimes they come back.
I'm not fit to be breaking ground this year.
But next year you will. It's your man's home.
It's a fine day. I'll leave now, I think.
You cannot walk so far yourself.
I'm not by myself. I'll stay with Kirsty Mackay in Dunster.
When will you come back? You must be here for him. When the Navy is done with them. When he comes back.
You mustn't weaken me, Ishbel. I dreamed of him again last night.
It's his boat. That's his child. This is nonsense. You don't know he's... I won't even say it. You can't believe it. It's only a dream.
Say goodbye to our mother for me.
The morning was fair, and the sky was clearing into wide blue fields as Katrine turned her back on her home.
Tormod's boat had returned derelict, with a crush of herring in her gunwales. There had been a fight. Not all the blood in her was fish's blood.
He had fought them. I knew that about him, that he would have fought them.
The Navy, cruising our water for sailing men to fight against the French. He fought them all right.
To the death. When he came to me in my dream, his face was pale, and he was silent and sorry. He looked down at me from the back of a thin grey mare. And then he was gone. He rode away.
That's the Ord of Caithness, and down there is the Caithness coast. The sky was a milky blue and the sun was warm, and she lay down in the heather and slept a short sleep, troubled by a dream of Roddy.
Hooves thundering down upon her.
Wild black horses of the apocalypse.
Hand opening suddenly, her eyes blazed.
Innocence consumed.
And the stagecoach rolled past her, newly introduced into these northern wilds, and spoke to her of the alien traffic and pomp of the great world, its ruthless powers, its cities and its wealth.
You alright there, Hen?
A voice spoke to her in English.
Can I do anything for you, like?
She struggled to understand his southern accent.
You need to be free to me, Chookie. I'm no but a shepherd.
Leave me alone.
Come on, be a bit more friendly, like. I've been brought all the way up here to mind your lair's sheep. And you're all on your own. I'm not going to eat you.
Please to leave me.
Please to leave me. Mangy, chooter bitch. I want to drop your puppies.
She walked on, forcing her knees to work, trying not to be sick, and she came at last to the brow of a broad valley, with birch trees on the slopes of grassy braes. And there was a longhouse over to her right. 2 young men came out of it.
It was the first time I ever saw her. Hot, dirty, and heavily with child. She broke my heart.
I'm looking for Kirsty Mackay.
Have you come from Sutherland?
I came from Helmsdale today.
You what? Today?
Do you know where I might find Kirsty Mackay?
Up that way towards the moor. But you can't see the house from here.
I'm going that way myself.
Why?
Because I am.
I'm not sure I'll be doing you a favour, madam, to tell you that this here is Captain Roddy Sinclair, offering to escort you.
Oh, you needn't trouble, please.
I'm going that way anyway. Are they doing well at the fishing get in Helmsdale?
I don't know.
They will. It's the coming thing. Was it not from the Dale that those poor lads were press ganged? Perhaps you don't care much for the sea.
We came from the Glens once. You have good ground here?
Not good enough. Not enough of it. Not up at Kirsty's anyway. Did you have to dig it out of the moor, the land at Helmsdale?
There are still rocks in it as big as houses.
Here's something to see.
They came at last to a high stone wall, very broad at the base, as though in long time past it had been a fortress, now fallen upon ruin.
The old folks call it Chapel Hill, though I've heard it said that long, long ago there was a monastery here. They called it the House of Peace.
A house of peace.
Yes, it's a good name for it. That's an old tower or dun, though the schoolteacher calls it a broch. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm late for the sea. Kirsty's house, that's your place over there. And yes, I think that's Kirsty herself coming to see who I'm bringing here. Kirsty Mackay! You've company come from Helmsdale!
Katrine is my name.
Katrine, I'm Roddy.
I know.
Well, I go this way.
Yes. Katrine, I had a longing to come and see you.
But what does this mean? How did you fall in with Roddy Sinclair? Where's Tormod? And why are you walking from Helmsdale? Oh, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, lass. I didn't mean to make you cry.
Who is this?
It's Katrine, father.
Is it yourself, Katrine? Have you come on a visit to see us?
Yes,
And how are your mother and father and all of you? Very good?
Yes, it was her man Tormod. It was him and his friends. The press gang took off Helmsdale.
I'm sorry, I had forgotten you were married.
Come away in, Father. You'll be wanting your supper.
The porridge pot was bubbling over the fire, suspended from the roof tree by a heather rope, coated round with soot to the thickness of a man's wrist, here and there glistening like ebony.
The fire stood in the middle of the floor, hedged about with flat stone.
The chimney was a hole in the roof, square boxed with wood.
In the dim light, with the yellow tongues of flame flapping over the black peat, the fine display of blue patterned plates in the large dresser glimmered.
Kirsty had many household goods, for her father had once had a comfortable holding in Sutherland, which he had rented until the lease had fallen through, and the landlord refused to renew it.
And that was the beginning of the evictions.
We will read in the 23rd chapter of the Book of Psalms.
It was a psalm, of course, that the old man knew by heart, for he spoke it every night. But it was a cruel irony to Katrine nonetheless, for it was the last that she and Tormod had read together, the night before he went to sea for the first and last time.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness, even for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thou preparest a table before mine enemies, in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
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 It will be hard for you at times, but you must grow used to it.
Yes.
My family are gone now, all except Kirsty. She has been a good daughter to me. She will honour my wishes.
Yes, Father.
You have a home here as long as you would like. And should it happen that Kirsty be taken before you, then it is my wish that you have this home for yourself and the child. You bring peace to my last days.
Father.
Everything comes in its time.
Time for the baby. Nearly there. Nearly there.
And so Finn was born without a father, and Katrine, innocent of any wrongdoing, made her home amongst the good people. Finn grew in body and soul, with a clear conscience and an open heart. This was his time of innocence.
I wonder if this young man can tell us all the meaning of the chief end of man.
Man's chief end is to glorify God and to enjoy him forever.
Very good. Now can you tell me the meaning of chief end?
It means the big thing we have to do,
A little Daniel. Kirsty Mackay,
Minister,
what rule has God given to direct us so we may glorify and enjoy him?
the word of God which is written in the scriptures of the Old and New Testament is the only rule which directs us how we may glorify and enjoy him, Minister.
Thank you, Kirsty. Now, Katrine, can you tell me something? What is God?
God is a spirit. Infinite, eternal, and unchangeable in his being. Wisdom, power, holiness, justice, goodness, and truth.
Very good, Katrine. Now, Roddy Sinclair, let's see if we can improve on your performance last Sunday. Wherein consists the sinfulness of the estate into which man fell?
All mankind, by their fall.
No. That describes the misery of the estate into which man fell. First we must have a definition of the sinfulness itself.
Yes, well, the sinfulness of that estate whereinto man fell
Consists in the guilt.
consists in the guilt of Adam's first sin.
The want of the original righteousness.
Yes, and the corruption
Of his whole nature, which is commonly called original sin, together with
all actual transgressions which proceed from it.
Can anybody tell me what is the third commandment? Finn,
The third commandment is, Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain.
Finn, you have a hero's name and a hero's heart. Make sure you keep that commandment. Now, can your mother tell me something? Katrine, what is the seventh commandment?
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Good. And may the Lord be with you. Amen.
Amen.
Well, Roddy, you'll feel a better man for that.
It won't have made you any better anyway.
Sandy Ware, he learned his ABC in his father's squire, setting himself up as a preacher. He'd be better helping his wife and daughter work for Croft rather than stravaiging about the country trying to teach people who know better. What does he mean by asking you the seventh commandment in front of everybody, a woman without a man? Does he not know how a foolish word said on a Sunday may put things into people's minds for the rest of the week?
Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Finn, don't go too far.
No, Mother.
Good boy. So young to know so well which side to butter his bread.
I'm very proud of him. Well, goodbye, Roddy.
And where are you going? You and your witch's basket.
Up to the shore. We're going to gather the dulse to make soup. It acts like a tonic and it greases the flesh. But it's no cure for stupidity, so I won't get any for you.
I thought I might take a walk up for a visit later.
If you like.
That poor man. The way he looks at you like you're a cow that gives gold in its milk.
Kirsty, please. Roddy's a good friend. He understands me.
Well, I'm blessed if I do.
So the years passed, as they usually do, and Finn, Tormod's son, was growing in the usual ways. Every Sunday, from the age of 4, he spent the lonely afternoons in the Birk Wood and here in the House of Peace.
Once I caught a butterfly in these hands, a grey fool. Is that what you call them, Mother?
Yes, that's what we call them.
But they're not grey, they're white.
You're my clever boy.
Where do they come from?
They come from many places.
Are they in Helmsdale?
Yes,
And Canada?
that's over the sea, Finn.
Can they not fly over the sea? It must be awfully big.
The butterfly arose and in its careless, aggravating way drew Finn after it.
He came so near to catching it that he leapt into the air after it and fell.
The butterfly flitted away, and Finn picked up a stone
The butterfly drifted over a wall and into the house of peace. And he ran and he saw it, and it met another butterfly.
Together they danced in the air.
Until one flitted away and slanted on a green leaf, and Finn threw the stone.
The butterfly passed from view over a bank.
His excitement and his anger increased, and he rushed across the bank as if he might be swift enough to crush it with his foot.
It was at that moment that death entered into his heart. He would kill the butterfly.
Like the fool it was, it flitted and posed.
Until it settled on a green leaf and flattened its wings.
On hands and knees, he crawled slowly to the leaf through the coarse old grass.
He had learned his lesson more than once.
He did not raise his head or rush the last yard.
From the grass he slowly lifted his right hand to the near edge of the leaf, then his left hand.
And pounced!
Bringing the leaf and then himself headlong in the grass, a mad fluttering and tickling under his palms. He crushed, and he felt the butterfly break. Instantly, he opened his hands.
His palms were covered in silvery dust. On the broken leaf, the butterfly was dead.
And he wept and sobbed wildly, drenchingly, till he was exhausted.
That was years ago. I was only little.
No one saw him. No one came to him. No one knew what he'd done. He was all alone in the world.
I was only little. I was only little. I was only little. I was only little. I was only little.
Finn! Is that you? Where are you? Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
Well, that's a funny thing to be doing at this time of day. Talking to nobody.
It's not. I wasn't talking to anybody.
Are you sure? It sounded like you were talking to somebody. Tell the truth now. Look.
Where?
There. God's fool is watching you. The butterfly. You must be truthful.
That's a grey fool, not a God's fool.
You're the fool. Well, everybody has to be called something, I suppose.
Did you come up here to see Mother?
And you. And Kirsty. And the cow. But you weren't there.
I'm alright.
Of course you are. But you know women. They don't always like it when we do things.
Don't they? What things?
The things that we do when they're not there to watch out for us. They worry about us when they can't see us.
Does she worry about you too? Does she look out for you?
There are things that we should not say to women. That is all.
What things?
Things that they would worry about. Like the other day, when I told you about that time we ran the boat aground. Remember?
And you climbed up those rocks in the dark.
Things like that.
Finn? It's late, Finn. We're all out looking for you.
I'm alright, Mother.
Do you mean to disgrace me, Finn?
Can't Finn and I take a little walk together? We were talking.
Come back to the house. Where were you? I thought I'd lost you.
In fact, I found him talking to himself in the house of peace. It's all right. I talk to myself there too. It's that kind of place.
You shouldn't frighten me that way.
I was alright.
I didn't know where you were.
We saw God's fool.
It's called a grey fool, the butterfly. Isn't it, Mother?
My people all say it's God's fool.
Yes, some folk do. But it's wrong to use the Lord's name. So we say grey fool.
Ah, there you see, Finn. Even the things that we see every day have different names depending on who we're talking to.
I caught and killed one once when I was little.
I remember. You were terribly upset.
I was only little.
Oh, you gave me a fright, all of you. Finn, inside, now.
Yes, Granny.
You'll not be stopping?
No, I'll be working late getting the boat ready.
That's a good stick you need. And don't you be keeping that bairn out of her bed.
Will you not wish me luck for the fishing tomorrow?
Oh, I won't.
Why not?
Because it isn't lucky. Say your prayers and himself will look after you.
Thank you.
Thank you for looking for him.
He wasn't really lost.
I must seem demented to you.
No.
I'm so afraid of losing him.
Yes.
Well, if that's all you have to say, I'll be going. I was almost sure he was drowned.
What's that? Who was drowned? Finn?
That he'd fallen in the sea, that he'd found a boat somewhere and gone out, that he was out there. I could almost see him.
He'd not do that.
Oh, not yet. Is that what you mean? I never want him to.
I know.
Do I worry too much, do you think?
It's nature.
Whose nature? What nature?
Your nature. Well, I'll be going.
Thank you for coming.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Be careful. Be careful of the sea.
I will. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
He did not know, for she could not tell him how much the sea had hurt her. She could not tell him how broken she was with the pain of what the sea had done to her, and how afraid of it she was. She was like a beaten dog, cowering from the memory of the pain, and she could not forgive him for not knowing that. How could he not know? How could he not see?
Goodbye!
You should be in your bed.
I was hungry. Do you like him?
What do you mean?
I like to listen when you talk to him. I'll go to sea like him one day.
Will you?
Yes, I think so. And I'll have lots of money. And you and Granny Kirsty won't have to worry anymore. I'll take care of you.
Will you?
Yes. So don't worry.
You should be in bed.
I'm not sleepy. You go if you're tired.
Stop pretending. You shouldn't be listening to us. You shouldn't be worrying me. You're just a boy.
You'll see,
You're just a little boy. You don't know anything. Does Roddy tell you things? Does he tell you about the sea?
What things?
About
what? Why are you shouting at me?
Mama doesn't want you to talk to him about those things.
What things? Why? Why don't you like him, Mother? He said you worried about him. He won't drown. He's so strong. Everything will be all right.
She knew this was not true. She knew that he would not be her little child for long. Loneliness ached inside her with a terrible promise of loneliness to come.
Finn, listen, you mustn't be angry with me. The sea has not been kind to me. Do you understand?
Yes.
He didn't understand anything.
Are you crying now? Don't cry.
I'm not crying.
Don't cry. I hate when you cry. You'll get cold.
All right.
Don't worry.
I won't.
We'll go to bed. Be nice and warm. I'll take care of you.
All right.
It was in her nature to worry for him.
It was in his nature to worry her.
It was natural for them both to pretend that life was otherwise, to evade the truth of it.
That it was life itself that was cruel and careless, and it could not be evaded.
The worst cruelty of nature was in its infinite patience, that everything comes in time.
Before Finn was 2 years older, he came to sea with me. This is how that came about.
The land was visited by what people called the plague.
They spoke of it in low voices and feared it more than death.
It's uncleanness, it's taint, it's corruption.
Kirsty still went about, gathering her herbs and lichens, visiting the older folk she remembered being young with her, visiting the houses where she heard there was sickness.
I came to this house, a family house that stood hard by a burn that ran downstream from the sailor's house, where the plague first showed itself to us.
No!
Seamus?
Kirsty, get out! Go home!
Is there no one looking after you?
Oh, get out!
Nan? Nan? Nan, what are you thinking?
Is he still alive?
Nan!
He's alone. He sent us out. He's dying.
Your father cannot die alone.
The children, he sent us all out.
Somebody must look after him.
There is nothing to be done. He'll die. Then we'll burn it all, burn everything.
Nan,
Keep away from me.
I haven't got it. Where are you all, Nan? Where is everybody?
Kirsty stood in the yard and saw that everything was gone. Even the animals had been taken.
And soon Nan said the house would burn.
Everything but her humanity told Kirsty she should leave too. But no one should be left to die alone.
She would be careful.
She would be fine. Simple people want simple answers. When they do not understand, they are vulnerable. Very vulnerable to those who claim to have the answers.
When the silver darlings swam into your nets, you danced. When money was in your hands, you forgot God. But God does not forget. He sent the fire and the desertion to clear us from the land. And now the ships. The ships with more money for your merry making. He sent the plague in the ships to consummate their punishment. I cry upon you now to repent! Repent while there is time!
What is to be done?
But old Hector knows some remedies.
He tried them with John Henderson and Moira Mackay. Now they're both dead.
I heard there's a new doctor.
A doctor?
Someone said he was in Thurso, some Englishman.
What good ever comes from the English? It's them and their exiles that brought this plague. Mark my words.
A doctor?
Is there any news from Helmsdale?
A new doctor?
There are houses burning, just like in the bad times.
Houses burning.
Children alone on the road. Parents dead. Everything falls apart.
God have mercy. Christ have mercy.
God hates us.
Enough of this foolishness!
No one trusts anyone. Everyone's afraid.
We must keep the fishing going.
Damn you and your fishing. People are dying.
Everything will die unless we do.
I hear it's on the islands now too. It's your damn profiteering.
No, you cannot blame me.
Who should we blame?
Calm yourselves.
What are we to do?
Nothing. There is nothing to be done. We have to wait.
A new doctor?
Nan? Your father is dead. Can you hear me? I have washed and prepared him. I can do no more. Do you hear me?
Roddy, look! I've been doing what you showed me. I've been 2 nights in the river, and last night I caught this salmon, all by myself.
We don't use that word, Finn.
What word? Salmon?
Fishermen won't name that fish.
Why in God's name not?
Who knows why we do things? Or don't do things?
Granny Kirsty will laugh at you. She likes nothing better than this. Salmon. £18, easy.
Finn, I don't want to alarm you. Your granny is not well.
Is it the plague?
If there's no more sign in 2 more days, then she'll be all right. But we cannot quite be certain until then. Your mother has said that you're to stay with me.
Mother.
She's well, Finn. I saw her.
I think I'd like to see her for myself.
All right.
I caught this salmon, Mother.
How are you feeling, Finn? You've been gone for ages.
All right. How's Granny?
She's not in great form.
Is she still shouting at you, though?
No. Are you missing your old mother at all?
Not really. Not yet.
Don't come any closer, Finn. Just in case.
I can.
Please, for me.
I could sleep in the barn easily.
Don't make it harder for me. You stay with Roddy. And if you're up this way tomorrow, maybe we could have a word. She'll be missing me. Goodbye just now.
Come on, Finn.
But the fish?
We're fine. You just take that with you.
I'll leave it on the stone for you. Granny Kirsty will like it.
All right. Thank you.
Where are you going, Finn?
I'm going to find a special doctor for my granny. Mr. Henry said he's in Thurso last week.
A And if he's not there now, if Mr. Hendry's wrong,
Then I'll find him somewhere else. I'll ask for the road at Wharton.
all right. God guide your feet.
I can guide them for myself.
Then the doctor will be a Saxon.
What? The who?
The doctor. He'll speak English.
Will he? It doesn't matter. I'll make him understand.
So, Roddy saw Finn set out on his singular destiny, and he understood that for some men, destiny is something they make, something they can choose.
What are you looking at? Is your pain easier
Then what?
than before?
Don't be patient with me. I'm not patient.
Don't talk, don't.
There's nothing.
Will you try some soup?
I won't die.
No.
I'll see you dead first, Gata, beggar woman. You and your whelp. You first.
Yes,
You hear me?
yes. Now lie still.
I can't. Oh, God help me. Who is doing this to me?
Shh, quiet now.
Hello! I've walked here from Dunster. I'm lost. Can you tell me the road to Wharton?
Where did you say you were from?
Dunster.
And how are they in Dunster?
I've people who are sick. I heard there was a doctor in Wick or Thurso, or somewhere in between.
I'm sorry for you.
Can I ask for a drink of water? Can I fill my bottle?
Go down there to the burn, you can fill it there. Then follow the water on down the hill, that'll take you towards Wharton.
Thank you.
Wait,
What for?
I've sheep's cheese.
I've oatcakes.
Well then, you'll have the combination.
Thank you.
It had been that way for him since setting out. The man newborn in Finn found it easy to understand them, but less easy to forgive. But he always remembered the man with the cheese, though he never saw him again.
Now you'll take this. Come away, Kirsty. Here you are. You must take something. Get your strength back.
Shouldn't.
What?
Shouldn't stay. You shouldn't stay. Leave me alone. I'd leave you.
You wouldn't. Come on, try some. Roddy left it.
I order you to leave my house. This is my house.
Try a little.
Leave me alone. Leave my house.
Just a little. Won't you try?
Go away. Get away.
You'll be the better.
Oh, let me die. Get away.
Maybe I should at that.
Oh. I should have left him.
What was that?
I should have left him. I should have. Oh, Katrine, save you. Save yourself.
It's too late. I was sick this morning.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Drink something.
You first.
Finn heard in Wharton that the doctor was in Wick, not Thurso. So he set off to the east.
On all of Finn's journey, he was, of course, anxious for his granny, but the uppermost fear in his mind was his lack of conversational English.
He had his catechism, of course.
Man's chief end is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever.
But this was not the sort of thing two ploughmen said to one another. As the farmland grew richer around him, the tongues he heard on his way increasingly spoke English.
But it was not the English of the Bible, and he wondered to himself how it was that an English doctor spoke.
How are you? I am well myself. I thank you. How are you yourself? I come from Dunster.
Are you doing what I told you? Are you eating? Are you keeping your strength up?
Yes. It's been something to think about. I've kept cream too.
Good. Good, that's fine.
It won't be long. You should have Dougal make a coffin for her.
When it's over, we've made a place for you, just for a few days. Just till we're sure of you, so that we can...
Burn it. Burn everything.
Yes, we'll burn it all.
I should be scared if I'm not there.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're...
What?
You're welcome.
Roddy, bring a coffin.
Yes.
If I get sick, I'll hang a white kerchief on the door. And you're to stay away. And you're to keep my son away. Do you understand?
Yes.
The size and number of houses in Wick astonished Finn. But it did not really astonish him, for he'd expected it. But not the number and size of ships in the harbour. The great stone walls, the smell of brine and herring guts, the clanging of the hammers and the loud clatter of the cartwheels, yells of laughter, of warning and of anger, and the clouds of screaming gulls.
The hundreds of men and women all around him suddenly. All of them busy. No one looking at him.
These unsettled him in his solitary nature and he grew confused.
Sir, I come from Dunster where my people are set. Can you learn me? Damn all the English and their stupid bloody language. Sorry.
Nobody minded a boy talking to himself. This was Wick.
The easy northern mistress of the industry.
The Klondike of the fisheries.
And Finn felt very small and countrified. It seemed to him that so many roofs, huddled so close together, must serve a defensive purpose. They were there to keep him out.
Still, he conquered his fear and approached a stranger, summoning his very best English.
Your forgiveness, lady. But can I know the doctor's house?
What's the matter with you, Babby? Do you not have the Gaelic?
I'm looking for the doctor. It's not for myself. I'm just on a message.
Is it Leinster you were from?
Further south. Will the doctor be in?
Dunster. You've the speech of Dunster. Do they have much of the trouble there?
No, not many. Will the doctor be in when we get there?
Well, if he's not in now, he'll be in later. You look healthy enough to me. I'll leave you here.
Why?
Well, I don't need a doctor, do I?
Aye? What you wantin'?
Finn's English vocabulary fell about him in pieces, and he tried his best to pick it up again.
Is doctor in house?
No, he's no. What you want anyway? What's up with you? Do you wanna see the doctor?
Yes.
He's no in. You've been in here. He'll be in an hour. Do you want to wait him then?
Yes.
Well, come Ben, will you? Get your chipped ass inside. You fucking dumb shit.
Thank
Where
you.
you come from?
Dunster.
Dunster. They know what either there yet. Sit down there. There I said.
Finn never thought, as he sat in that waiting room, of the heroic effort he had made to sit there amongst the townsfolk with their petty and serious complaints. He never thought of what it had cost him to get to that waiting room, of lack of sleep and lack of food and a journey of 30 miles on foot, and it had left him unwilling to answer even the most friendly questions. He was so tired even that he forgot to practice what he had come to say. His eyes grew heavy in the stuffy heat. Good morning. Good morning. Send in the first one, please. Next. Oh, there it is. Next. Next. Well, have you come a long way?
Sir, I've come from Dunster, and I've come to keep the plague from killing my mother.
Oh yes, that's understandable. Did you walk all the way? You'll be needing some water. Oh, more, some water. Now, I'll speak to you in English, although I have some understanding of the Gaelic, and Morag here will keep me right. For me, did you go what?
I heard that you were the special doctor for the trouble.
Oh yeah, you heard that, did you? Yes.
My mother is with my granny.
Nursing her?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. What doing she to keep it gone?
She is washing, and she has salt water for her feet from a man.
A doctor?
The shoemaker. But he also does the doctor.
Whiskey! 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 If they're not dosing themselves with whiskey, it's smuggled brandy. These people think it cures everything if they get pie-eyed. I tell you, it's my belief that the treatment of the preliminary diarrhea by calomel and Dover's powders is the thing. Now, the diarrhea is not the same as a cholera, but if we get them to bind their bowels and have a bloody good sweat, they might just be all right. Who's this?
Oh, this young fellow has walked 30 miles just to hear this. His mother is treating his granny for the trouble, so I think you might slow down a bit. What's your name?
Finn.
Oh, well, Finn, this is the man you want. Let us both learn from him and teach him some manners.
How is your mother cheating the case?
I saw her burying Granny's clothes in a hole in the ground.
Did you? Ha! Well, you're both very intelligent. Her for disposing of soiled linen, and you for coming to me. Lord Donald, I really must be going, and I know you're busy too. Give the boy the powders for nothing, will you? We'll make it part of the study. These country cases will do greatly to our understanding. Can you read and write, boy?
His name is Finn.
Yes, yes. Well?
I can.
All right, there's a letter, Finn. Take the powders, do exactly what it says in the paper, then write us a bloody old letter, and we'll call it even. Hey, there's a good boy. Now, Donald, I really must fly. Goodbye.
If anyone ever asks you, that's how they beat Napoleon. Morag here will look after you now.
Now, this packet here is for your granny because her case is more advanced. I've written granny on it for you. And this one is for your mother. Now, you must take it at the first sign of the dysentery. If it's not too bad, 1 every 2 hours, every half hour if it's bad. Do you follow me, Finn?
Yes.
Good, you're a clever lad. When all the trouble is gone from the house, you must take the dirtied clothes and burn them. All of them. Scrub out every corner of the house with lye and leave the furniture outside to air for 2 or 3 days. What is it?
You mean we can save the house?
What?
We'll not be needing to burn it.
No!
Mother will be very glad.
Oh, what's wrong?
I just feel bad that I can't pay you. And all the other doctors.
Save your mother. It's been a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master Finn. I'll be hearing more of you.
You never left me. While in your debt,
Do you think? Oh, now you're sick too. Wasn't one of us enough?
Enough for who? What for?
Enough of your nonsense. Sit. There's business to be done. My father told me that you should inherit this croft. Oh. He'd not want the last home of his people to go to strangers. Oh. I wrote this down for you to show to anyone who asks you. What I give freely and in perpetuity. Do you understand? Don't tell anyone. There's money in that purse, it's yours.
Kirsty,
it's all there is that we could save. 41 gold sovereigns. Oh,
so much.
Pay my funeral expenses. Leave no debts. And keep some by for yourself for when your time comes. Oh, years. You have years. Today, you are beholden to no one. There's no one left for you to obey. Oh,
thank you.
God gave you a soft heart and a hard head, but He gave you working hands. Oh, you are very good. You are brave. That's good enough to say of anyone.
Thank you.
And now, now you must make arrangements for Finn as I have done for you.
I will. I'll put this in the barn and I'll tell him what you said.
Don't think you can save him, Katrine.
What do you mean?
You won't keep him from the sea. If you want to stay his friend, you won't even try. Oh. Tell me what you'll do.
I'll prevent him. I'll save him.
I'll sleep now.
That last conversation between them was not long before the end. Kirsty's body, in her sleep, fell again to a dreadful shaking, wringing the last life from her. Katrine had heated hot stones and wrapped them in flannel and spread them around her in a dull, wordless rotation. As the shivering subsided, Kirsty's throat would not open, and her last 100 breaths came as painful reaches after air. She had shrunk to almost nothing, and the last of her was leaving.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Kirsty! Kirsty! Oh.
Mother! Kirsty, I'm home! I found the doctor!
Keep away!
I found the doctor! He gave me these. The labels tell you This one's for the late stages for Granny. And this one, just in case, for the early stages for you. Where's Granny? Is she?
Yes. She died, Finn. I'm sorry. You came too late for her. They came to take her this morning.
Then this medicine was all for nothing. All that way.
They're going to burn our house, Finn.
No! I spoke to the doctor. It's only her clothes that must be burned. Not the beds or anything. The doctor told me. I'm very sorry about Granny. Are you?
I don't know. I was sick yesterday. I don't know.
You'll be alright. You will.
Yes,
I'll leave the medicine for you then.
that's maybe wise.
Leave everything to me.
No, right?
I'm going to tell Roddy I'm back and everyone.
Yes, good.
Are you sure you won't be frightened? Are you alright?
Off you go. I'm just tired.
Alright. Good night now.
Finn never thought his mother would catch the plague. He never ever thought his mother could die, like Kirsty could die, or anybody else. But now he did. And thus he found himself that night, once more, alone in the House of Peace, with the aurora dancing over him, curled up in the shadow of the round ring of stones, wishing for a father he had never known.
Father, is it you? Have you come for me? A reflection. You're only a reflection.
Finn, are you awake? Finn, we must look to your mother. When we came for Kirsty, she'd hung a white kerchief on the door, and she did not leave her room all the time that we were there for your granny. That means she's ill, Finn. But you brought the medicine, boy. If anyone can save her, you've already done it.
I'm going in there myself.
You can't go in. You know that.
She's my mother. I'm going to help her.
You've done all you can do.
You're not my father. You don't tell me what to do.
Not so loud.
She's my mother.
Do you want to break her heart? It's nothing for you or me to go in there. But if she has the sickness... Damn it, man! Will it make it any easier for her if she thinks that you would get it too?
I don't care.
You're not a child, Finn. You can't act like a child anymore. Leave her be.
So they left her, the woman they both loved in different ways, knowing by the time they came by tomorrow, they would know everything at once, that she would be dead or she would live.
They did not speak.
They did not talk of Finn's journey.
Or of the terrible end Roddy had heard old Margaret had made, screaming out her life in her croft while her family crouched in the rain.
Or of an old man called Bono that Roddy had found, his face and hands eaten by his own cats. How Roddy had caught the animals and burned them like witches.
Here.
Is that whiskey?
I'll have one to keep you company. When she recovers, if you've need of work, I've work for you.
Yes.
And that was all. In that way, Finn's destiny was decided.
When the man and boy returned to the house next morning, they could see smoke rising from the chimney. They could hear her talking to herself, moving things about.
Oh, you can help me now. We've just the house to clean out.
But the signs. You had the dysentery.
Yes. Must have been the soup. It must have been the soup.
It took Katrine weeks to recover from her sickness.
By the time she was back working on the nets, Finn was already at sea.
There was a crowd on the beach to see them off. It was the first time a boat from Dunster had made the journey to Stornoway.
The fish won't follow us. We have to follow them.
Fish, it seemed, had seasons like strawberries.
Stornoway, Roddy. But that's the other side of the world. However will we find it?
Unless they have different stars out west, we'll find it. Is it run up the way that I said?
All according to your instructions. In God's name, Roddy, are you sure?
Finn, take the compass. The steel will always point to the north. It can do nothing else. But we are men. We can go where we like.
Yes, Roddy.
Well then!
Sounds of the shore receded, and the land was left to its dreaming. Their world became the sea, the sky, and the sound of gulls.
Another world. A better world.
A world of men and men's talk, and roping whipping sails, and strange song of the boat as it cut across the water.
It was a new way to read your history. To sail along the coast of it, past the castle, the ruins, the parish church, and all the disputes and lawsuits and schisms in the faith, and the ways and doings of the great ones of the earth, the Napoleons and Dukes of Sutherland, could be seen with a certain detachment.
Where are we? What time is it?
Let's look. The sun is past being high. Yonder is Scrabster, and Thurso will be over there a ways, Callum.
It's whatever you say, Skipper.
Well then, full sail, gentlemen. Let's see if we can shift.
As they rounded Strathy Point, Roddy stood into the land a little. Tongue Bay they could see. They were in for a dirty night.
It'll be dark soon.
It will.
Finn watched as Roddy stood, his eyes ahead, growing in upon himself. His prow, the prow of the boat, carven like a Viking boat. And Finn felt he understood what had impelled these northern warriors to carve a living face on their longboats. For it seemed to him that the boat was heedless of them, as it seemed to concentrate only on where it was going.
Is that the light?
I hope so. It's been a dirty night.
The day's not looking any better. It's no weather for it, Skipper, to be sailing unknown waters.
I know, but I've a fair idea where we're going. I drew up this chart with the help of men who've sailed these waters. I trust them.
Men from Wick.
Some of them.
You took the word of men from Wick.
For a day and a night they fought the seas, manning the pump in turns, although they shipped no more than wave tops, for Roddy steered them with a skill that seemed like divination.
For a while they felt the thrill of running with the wind, running with the water.
But none of them could quite suppress the feeling that they were getting further away from anything, from anywhere.
When the grey morning came upon them half stupefied, it revealed nothing in any direction but countless herds of tumbling seas.
That they were still alive at all seemed like a miracle.
Where are we?
I don't know, but our course stayed westerly, so I'd say that we're in the western ocean. I never saw waves the length of these.
Oh, the height and weight of them, they're like mountains.
I think the weather blew us clear out of the binge.
My mother's first cousin went to Canada. Perhaps we'll bump into him.
They laughed. Their voices were tired from being raised to be heard, and they were parched.
None of them would admit it, but they were running out of water. If they didn't ban soon, they'd die of thirst in a desert of water.
Lord, I'm cold. Lord, I'm cold. All of you, take a drink now. Finish it.
We're all right.
Drink the water. Drink it down, all of it.
But how will we celebrate when we get there?
Do as you're told. No! Let's see if we can find the island, shall
sailed into the setting sun in mounting seas. Rob was the first of them to grow faint. They tied him to the mast to prevent him from injuring himself.
Finn! What's that?
Where?
Dead ahead!
There's nothing on the chart.
We're lost, man! Of course there's nothing on the chart!
There's nothing there! It's a cloud! There's nothing!
Is it a ship?
It's land! We're heading in! Full column! It's land!
It's sheer bloody cliffs, man!
It was a wild, inhospitable place, wherever it was. Black jaws formed in granite. A coast ripped by gullets of rock just wide enough to take their boat.
And there's no land throw! There's nowhere!
The reverberations of the waves drummed their ears and shook their weary bodies. The black cliffs vibrated. Circling birds were screaming. When they tried to shout, only hoarse croaks came from them.
Up there! Hey! Hey! Anyone help! Roddy, I'm looking at that cliff. I'm thinking I can climb it.
Nobody can climb that!
I think I can.
We'll rest. We'll try again.
If you can land me, I can do it.
Are you mad?
No, I'm not.
And how do we land you there?
Easy. One of you pay out rope, while the others bring round stern first. I can jump.
Jump! And if you fall in, and the sea brings a boat in there to crush you.
One of us has to try.
If you fell, we couldn't help you. We'd lose you.
Well, if I don't do it now, I'll have no strength tomorrow.
You'll not do it now.
Why not? What are you frightened of?
I'm the skipper of this ship.
You wouldn't do it. That's why you're against me. Because I'm the man who can do it.
Then, what would be the point?
Where there's land and there's rain, there's water.
We'll wait
We
until...
can't wait. We can't wait.
Aft right column, all as you dare.
I can do it now.
When it comes up, Finn, up she came, rushing on the rocks.
No!
I can't see him! Where is he?
Finn! Finn!
Pull him back in, man! You'll drown!
Finn!
Yeah! By Christ! God forbid me! He made it!
Never! He did it! You'll never see the like of that!
Climb, Finn! Watch what you're doing!
And there was Finn splayed black against the rock,
Climbing.
living and moving without time for thought.
Reaching up, his body hanging over the sea.
Seeking a hold with his fingers and his toes.
Loving it, loving the danger of it,
The importance of it.
loving being himself, his spirit lifted in a rush.
Silent cry.
Seeking a purchase on the stone.
Then he was gone.
Finn!
Their eyes searched the sea, the cliff, the sky.
Finn! Finn!
And high above, he was shouting his own name.
Van! Van! Van!
How did he die, Ian? How did it happen? When did he die?
The second day.
Tell me, from the beginning.
He died, Katrine. They killed him. Why do you need
Tell
to...
me the story. Make it real for me.
Why? What for?
It's all that is left.
I woke the second morning. The stars were gone. Out to the east, the sky was whitening into day. It was cold. There was a wind across the water, and then off Berrydale Head, I saw a moving light. A ship, distant, with a light like a star over her. I shook Tormod awake. "Oh, she'll be a merchant ship," says Tormod. He always talked as if he knew things. And then he was at the side, looking over. "The piper's bag," he said. "It's gone. We'd used it as a float on the nets overnight, you see, but it wasn't gone. Our boat was listing with a weight of fish in it.
You were in them then?
Oh, we were in them. Oh, we forgot everything. The ship, everything. All we could think about was, here was food for our families. Here was maybe even some money. Here was maybe even life itself. We hauled at the net and they poured into the boat, hundreds of them, thousands, silver darlings. Oh, we were laughing. Oh.
What happened?
The ship is coming this way. Oh, let her come, says Tournament, let her come.
Let her come, Ian. Keep working.
She'll maybe be a schooner. She's flying a Navy Jack.
Maybe.
Maybe she's come for the herring barrels. Maybe it's the excise.
Maybe. Keep working. Don't look at them.
Maybe she'll buy her herring off us.
She easily might, but she'll pay a full price. Come on.
Oh, our net was half in. We were up to our shins in them.
She's coming very close.
She came in very close. She crossed our bows, running into the wind so the great white sails of her shook. And then she stopped. I never knew there were men in this world who could play the wind and stop a great ship in the water just like that. Her men looked down from the boat, watching, waiting. I looked in their eyes. Some of them looked sad. Others were filled with hatred and revenge.
Pay no attention. The sea is free.
They shouted orders to us and they shouted orders to each other, but we couldn't understand the English. They lowered a boat. It came towards us. 2 men rowing and 2 men in the stern with guns.
Jesus, Tournament, what will we do?
Keep working. Don't lose the fish. Don't look at them.
Don't look at them, he said. How could you not look at them? They are the masters of the world.
Keep working. There's 3 grands in this net if there's a herring.
Get your bloody hands up!
We're working. Honest men. Working.
In the name of the king! Put the net down,
No,
Angus!
Ian.
Angus, put down the net!
Oh,
Move it.
he'd not be having that. He'd not be spoken to like that. Tournament! No! Tournament! Stop! Tournament! No! Tournament! Oh. I don't know why he did it. I don't know where he found the strength or the foolishness.
I do. He found the strength because he was angry with me. Because I told him, the sea will kill you, Tournament. Now he knew I was right. I know what it cost him to go out there.
I don't understand that.
You should talk to Finn when he comes home. Tell him about his father. He's very like him.
Will you think about my offer? I could give him and you a good life. I've paid for it. I've earned it.
I hope you understand. I'm honoured by your offer. I've come to think of you as a good and wise friend. But I have nothing else I can give you.
Why? Can I ask you that?
Look at me, Ian. As I am now. Hollowed out by sickness. Dry bones. I had life once. But I've used it up. I'm alone. I'm always alone. Might be that I was born this way. Unable to give of myself. Even with Tournament, all that time ago, I felt myself cold. Even with my own son, he needed warmth from others. He expected none from me.
You've been hurt. You're afraid.
I've always seemed to know things. Being able to feel things in the air around me. In the colours of the light. But perhaps I've never truly felt for anyone else. Tournament knew it. He felt it from me too. It drove him from me, I think. Drove him out to sea with you. I brought it on him.
Katrine, that's not true. He loved you.
I knew what I was doing to him. I knew everything that was going to happen. I look at you, dragged away from home, exposed to such violence. And I feel for you. But I cannot love you. I can see now how it would be if I lived with you in your house. I would still be alone. And you would feel it from me, like he did, my coldness. There's nothing I can do to change it. It's too late. I can see everything. The years pass and they take me with them. Nothing can be changed. I thank you with all the heart I have left.
They fished from Stornoway for 6 weeks, and the students came home before they did. How Finn went up the cliff.
Climbed the rock face in the storm.
Finn, our hero. Finn had saved them all.
How Finn was a magician.
How Finn loved the girls, and the girls loved Finn.
Finn was a hero. Finn found a fish. Finn climbed a stone. Finn found the water.
And how they had not spoken. Not for weeks. Finn and Roddy.
How murderous with jealousy Roddy had become.
They said the blackness of the blackest cloud was nothing to the blackness of their brows and the blackness of the looks that passed between them.
It was certain that trouble was to come. For folk will make up stories to match the nonsense in their head. Find answers where there had never previously been questions. Whisper half a lie and breathe life into a rumour oft repeated. And thus create a book of lies. And worst of all, they end up believing what they choose to believe.
And now a rich stranger had come to marry Katrine.
And Roddy would murder him.
Or Finn would murder him.
How Tormod was dead.
How Commandment left Katrine to the stranger on his deathbed.
And how Katrine and her lover,
That same stranger.
had conspired together.
And Tormod had been murdered.
And Commandment came back to haunt her.
And
Some of it was true.
And none of it was true. But everybody said it.
And everybody's saying it made it true.
It was certain that trouble was to come.
It was certain that trouble was to come.
Mother! Mother, I'm home!
Did you look around the place yet?
No. Why?
Did it look any different to you?
How do you mean?
Now you've been away.
Not really.
Everything looks different to me.
Mother, I've brought you things.
Roddy Sinclair said he'd come around and join us for his supper.
Good.
There are things to be discussed.
All right.
How could you do it?
Mother!
How could you do that to me?
Do what?
You left when I was sick. I was too sick to stop you. And then you made that climb.
It was nothing.
It was nothing. Does your life mean nothing? Does all I've done for you mean nothing? I made a life for you. Here. I made you a life. And you would throw it away like it was nothing.
You don't understand.
Explain it to me.
We had no water. We had no choice.
No choice. You say you had no choice.
What's she doing here?
Hello, Finn. I could hear that you were back.
What are you doing here?
My mother said I was to help while you were gone.
You were gone. I was sick. I needed help.
I had to go. I had to, Mother. There was no money.
That's all you know.
How do you mean?
Why did you climb that cliff?
There was no water. I had to.
You had to do it. I've heard it all before. It's a lie. It's a lie.
It's the truth. I didn't want to.
That's all, Finn.
Mother.
No more.
Mother.
You hear me?
I had to.
You wanted to, didn't you? Didn't you? Don't tell me you had to do it. You wanted to do it.
Mother.
There's something else I have to tell you.
What is it?
There was a man came here from Helmsdale.
They told me. Who was he? What did he want?
He was an old friend of your father's.
And now you're going to marry him. For his money. That's what they're saying down in the village.
And what do you say down in the village?
Is it true? Does your reputation not trouble you, Mother? It troubles me.
Now that you're a big man?
You stay out of this, Una.
He saw your father die. He told me. He watched your father die. They killed him, Finn. They beat him to death.
And this fancy man of yours just stood there, did he?
There was nothing he could do.
If I was there would have been something I could do.
If you'd have been there.
There was nothing he could do. And there was nothing anyone could do. They buried him at sea.
At sea? They buried him at sea?
Yes.
Right. Right then.
So now you know.
So my father's dead then, is he?
Yes.
My father's dead. Just like your silly dreams and your ghost always told you.
Yes.
So you were right.
Yes.
So what are you going to do about it, Mother?
What do you mean?
Well, now you can get married again. To this man from Helmsdale, is it? Or to Roddy Sinclair? Why not?
Finn!
You do whatever you want, Mother. And you let me do what I want.
You always do. You always do exactly what you want. All the time. Just like your father did. That's what I've been telling you.
I'm going to look about the place now. If you're going to move in with this man from Helmsdale, I'll be needing to mind my own property. There are presents for you in there. The handkerchief and ribbons are yours and all.
Why didn't you tell him? Finn! Finn!
But Katrine's stubborn determination would not let her give in. She would not listen to any living soul. But there was one voice still alive in her head.
I know. But he makes me so angry, standing there like
a man. Well, he is a man now, and he thinks you're going mad, you silly woman.
Perhaps I am going mad.
Well, you're talking to me. I am dead, you know.
I used to talk to Tormund. He doesn't come anymore.
I remember. I'd find you at the window. You'd pretend you were talking to yourself. You know you're going the right way to drive him from you too.
I can't help it. I can't help myself. I just want him to be honest.
You could talk to Roddy Sinclair.
He just laugh at me. Besides, it's too late for that. And he's never said anything to me. Not in all these years.
He was afraid to.
What do you mean? Afraid?
You know as well as I do.
What?
Give Roddy some encouragement. See what happens.
I'm not being very helpful.
You know what he's going to think.
How should I know what he'll think?
He'll think you want him. He'll think that you drove away the Helmsdale man for him.
Well, I can't help it if he thinks that.
But it's true. You did. You do want him, don't you?
What did I do?
And you want Finn to be honest?
It's too late.
You talk to yourself. You think too much. You need to be contradicted more.
But I'm talking to you now, aren't I? You're contradicting me.
Don't you try to be complicated, catachwoman. You haven't got the brains for it.
It's too late, Kirsty. It's too late for me. Don't you see? But it's not too late for Finn. I have to make Finn see that.
The hell with Finn. Let Finn look after himself. He's going to anyway.
But I can't talk to Roddy. It's been too long.
You think too much. You make everything more difficult than it is already.
Well, I'm not going to change now, am I?
Oh, you're hopeless.
Life is wasted on the living. She must take it from here or let it go.
It's too late, Kirsty. It's too late.
What's too late? Who are you talking to?
Nobody?
I remember Finn saying that when he was a boy. Always talking to nobody. Do you ever hear anything worthwhile?
How was it?
The fishing. It was good. Where's Finn?
I had a fight with him. I drove him out.
He's an easy boy to have a fight with.
Yes.
He's brave as a lion, Katrine.
Is he?
As a lion. With a temper on him to melt glass. Would you like a drink?
What's that?
Jamaican rum. It found its way to Lewis. Now it finds its way here. Will you try some?
No, thank you.
I hear you had a man to see you. Ian McAllister. From Helmsdale.
What are you smiling at?
I heard you turned him away.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at you.
What for?
A sign. The smallest, most insignificant sign. That you think of me as I've always thought of you.
Roddy?
I love you, Katrine. I always have.
What's gotten into you tonight?
You did. Years ago, the first time I ever saw you, sweating up that hill down there. There was a light in your eyes, Katrine. You shone for me. But you were haunted and afraid. I could see that. You're a haunted people. Haunted by the life they took away from us. Our only hope now was for the new and the strange. And the dangerous. Finn knows that. There's a force of life in that boy that frightens even me. I saw something in him out there. Something I should like to find in myself. And find in you. The courage to live. Courage is life, Katrine. Fear and the dead have been in charge here long enough.
It's a very pretty speech.
Thank you. I've been going over it and over it. For 17 years.
What do you think you're doing? Talking to your mother like that?
I can't be bothered with you now, Una.
Can't you? Can't you be bothered with even me?
Una.
What is it then?
Women don't understand anything.
What? What is it I don't understand? That you're a big man now. I understand that. Let me tell you something. It's a lot easier being a big man on a little boat than it is raising a child on your own or working with land that wants to give you nothing in return. Like she did. Like my father did. It's a lot easier for a great big babby to be a hero than it is to be a man like that.
She slapped my face.
She lost her man. She lost Kirsty. She spent 4 days watching Kirsty die. She nearly died herself. And then you disappeared and she ate her heart out. Every day, every night. And then a man comes and tells her that her husband's dead and he wants to marry her. And then you come home acting like the laird of somewhere or other. Of course she slapped your face. I'd have slapped a lot more than your face. You're supposed to be so smart. You're supposed to be the smartest boy in the village. Why are you such an idiot?
She's my mother. She's got no business entertaining offers from men from Helmsdale.
She's a woman.
Does that mean she's to throw herself at the first thing in trousers?
You're right. Women are fools. We're fools when we live for men who can't see their nose in front of their faces. She doesn't want to marry the man from Helmsdale. She never did. She wants you to have a good, rich, comfortable life. That's all she ever wanted. And you damn her eyes for it. When she cares nothing for herself and what she wants. Everything's always been for you. And you talk about her like that.
What business is it of yours anyway, Una?
I don't know. I don't understand anything either.
My father's dead! Do you understand that? My father's dead!
I can hear you. So, what did you bring me from Stornoway then?
I told you. 2 white linen hankies and a red ribbon.
Oh yes, you said. Will I like them?
That was the general idea.
Are you sorry?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Will you say so?
I just did.
Oh, not to me, you great fool.
What was that for?
I was hoping you might turn into a prince. But no, you're still a frog. A grumpy old frog. What do you think you're doing? Is this the kind of thing you did in Stornoway?
Not telling you.
You don't have to. Get off.
Why did you kiss me then?
Why, to confuse and irritate you, of course.
Oh, you think so?
Well, that was better. At least you learned something from those girls in Stornoway.
Come on. There's a Cayley at Angus Guns I'm hearing.
No, Finn, you go this way and I'll go to the Cayley.
Una, why?
You've things to attend to at home. First things first. Perhaps I'll see you later though, when you're done.
Roddy, you know I've always been afraid. For Finn.
Yes.
I was right about Tormod.
I know, but...
I can see him. Sometimes. I have visions.
Finn,
In danger.
he was in danger. I'll not concede it. But he survived. He did better than survive.
I don't want him back out there.
Tell him that. Tell him how you feel. Don't dice it up in visions.
I have told him. And he tells me he has to.
And?
Well, he doesn't have to. I spoke to the teacher. He thinks Finn may have a chance of an education. What?
I don't...
What?
I don't know that he'd want that.
Well, let him tell me that. Tell me that's what he wants. Don't you see? Just so he doesn't lie to me.
Does it matter as much as all that?
The day I lost Tormund, he lied to me. Told me he was doing something because he had to, when he was doing what he wanted. I was angry with him. The last time I ever saw him. I think that's what's haunted me all these years. So there has to be the truth between me and Finn.
All right.
And anyway, I can't prevent him, can I?
No, you can't.
Then the truth will have to do me. I want to talk to him about what the teacher said. Will you help me?
If I can. Good evening, Finn.
Roddy. I'm sorry, Mother.
I know. So am I.
It was just... I was so excited to be coming home. And then when I heard in the village...
Well, I spoke to the man from Helmsdale yesterday. I thanked him, but I told him no. I should have told you that before.
Oh, right.
Sit down, Finn.
How did you get along, the two of you?
Fine.
Not too bad. The fishing had its ups and downs.
Was he useful to you?
Of course he was, weren't you?
I'm glad. You got on fine then?
Yes, overall I'd say fine. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, I think so.
I've heard some things. There have been stories about you two.
Yes, I've heard them too. They're only stories.
Don't suppose there's much to be learned from stories.
We've already discussed it. Mother and me. the cliff and all that.
Good, good. We did find ourselves in some difficulty at one point.
Difficulty? At one point?
What would you call it, Finn?
Difficulty.
Difficulty.
Drink your soup.
Yes, thank you. It's
very good.
It makes a change for us. We all had to share the one biscuit at one point.
And was this the same point of difficulty?
No, that was another. That was later. Of Uist.
Uist?
I think it was off Uist.
I think so.
You mustn't worry though.
Oh, mustn't I?
I've never lost a man yet.
Mother, we know what we're doing.
Do you?
I was sorry to hear about Tormod. I've never met your father, of course, but I'm sure that he was a fine man.
He was just a boy.
Well, I'm sure he'd be very proud of you. You and Finn.
I spoke to Mr. Gordon.
The school teacher? What for?
He told me you're his most promising scholar.
Did he now? What did he tell you that for?
He said, if you wanted, he could teach you privately. We can afford it now.
Why? What's he going to teach me?
He said he could teach you Latin.
Latin?
For you to enter the university in Aberdeen. He said he studied there himself and he knows the people. He said he would discuss it with you, if you wanted.
Latin?
For the university.
The university? Me? Mother, are you serious?
Yes.
Well, Finn?
What? I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a minister.
But you could be if you wanted to.
What?
Finn, it's worth considering.
But who would do the work here, when I was away in Aberdeen speaking Latin?
I could hire a man. I would need to hire a man if you were out at sea. I'll talk to my cousin. He'd be willing.
At sea, I'd be earning money.
You'd earn money as a teacher or a minister.
Mother, are you mad? A teacher?
Well, what are you now but a labourer?
Have you thought all of this out?
Yes. It's what I want for you.
I mean the two of you. The two of you together. By God, Roddy Sinclair, I thought more of you than that.
Finn, this is the first
To
time
conspire against a man with his mother. What kind of a man do you think you are?
That's enough now.
This has nothing to do with Roddy. This is you and me.
Then what's he doing here? Who does he think he is?
Finn, it's just something I want you to think about.
Why? Why, Mother? Is that what you want from me? Do you want me confined, locked up with a book? Is that what you want? Don't you know who I am?
It might be worth thinking it over, Finn.
Will you be needing him again, Roddy?
What do you mean?
Do you need my son on your boat?
Well...
Do you?
What is this?
You have a choice, Finn. You told me you went to sea because you needed to. That you climbed that cliff and risked your life because you needed to. Well, you don't need to anymore. You don't need to do anything. Do you actually need him, Roddy?
No, I can't honestly say that I need him.
Oh, don't you now?
Your mother...
My mother has nothing to do with it.
You're a very capable sailor, Finn.
Capable? I saved your life.
Finn...
I'm my own man, Roddy. If you're so petty and jealous that you don't want me around with you, then for God's sake be a man and tell me so yourself. Don't get my mother to do it for you.
Finn...
I know what you want, Roddy. I know what you've always wanted. I know why you always take her side. I can read your mind. My father's dead, isn't he? So there's nothing to stop you. So you want me out of the way, locked up in Aberdeen, with a candle and a book.
Don't talk to him like that.
He's not my father. He never is going to be my father. Do you hear that? And I wouldn't fish for you now if you paid me double.
We are just asking you to think.
There's no need to think. You should have seen me out there, Mother. Tell her, Roddy.
You're a very fair seaman, Finn.
Fair. Fair, he says.
But your mother's may be right. It's no work for someone of your intelligence. Or your bad temper.
My bad temper? Do you want to see my bad temper?
Be careful, Finn.
Be careful. Be careful of what? You coward. If I'd been careful, we would both be dead by now. You with your stupid navigation, with your maps and compass. You don't want me around because I'm twice the sailor that you will ever be.
Finn!
You don't tell me what to do. Not anymore.
You're upset, so I can forgive you. But I'm not here to insult your mother.
Hypocrites. The pair of you. Why don't you just come out and say it for once in your lives? They all know about the two of you. Always talking and staring and mooning at each other. They laugh at you. Everyone. They laugh at me. And I'll not have it. I'll not stand for you humiliating me anymore.
I've 20 sovereigns for you, Finn. They're yours. I've told you all that I wanted to. That's all I can do.
I've been earning my own money. Good night, Mother. Captain Sinclair.
He understands now.
What does he understand? I don't understand.
I had heard there was trouble between you.
People try to make trouble. You're trying to make trouble yourself. What do you want from me? What do you want from him? Do you want him to be unhappy?
I want him to live!
He's going to live anyway. He's going to do whatever he wants.
Then it doesn't matter.
If he hates you, if he's unhappy, hard on him, easy on yourself.
Easy!
You act as if you're already dead. You hand down gifts, you make conditions, like you're writing a will. But you're still alive. Good. Oh, it doesn't matter. You can't stop him doing whatever he wants.
I'm not trying to stop him. I'm not a fool.
Then why are you trying to make him unhappy?
I don't know! I'm wrong! I'm wrong about everything! I'm alone! And I'm tired! In my bones! Of the fear and the loneliness. I try to understand, but I've been alone too long.
Come here.
What for?
I think you should come here.
The widow woman and her money. Is that what you want?
You can't keep putting up walls between yourself and the world, Katrine. Someday, the walls must come down.
You being masterful with me now.
I'm the master of nothing. I'm a cork tossed on the ocean. I got lost, blown out of the Minch, into the dark, into the swell of the ocean, in the infinite heaving swell. I'm nothing. I'm nobody. And it's past time, Katrine. It's past time that I came into land. I want you. I want you now. It's time that we buried the dead.
Roddy, I don't have the heart. I don't.
I'm asking to come to your bed. If you have a heart, I mean to find it. I mean to hunt it down.
You're asking to come to my bed.
I think I am, yes.
It's about time.
Close your eyes. Let me.
Close Close your eyes. Be brave. Live.
I don't know.
Nobody does. Nobody knows anything.
The sea is our salvation.
Our worldly salvation.
It will be the only salvation you young devils will ever know unless you mend your ways.
Will it last, you think? The fishing?
Will it last? Man, the fishing will go on forever.
You think?
You're the canny one, Finn. I've my eye on you.
Like you did with Roddy Sinclair all those years ago.
And now you shouldn't be drinking like that. Young fella like you.
You sold it to me, Mr. Hendry. Mr. Hendry.
What is it?
How much to buy a boat? How much to buy a boat and initial outlay? To come and fish for you?
Out to Dunstan?
No. Livestock. Helmsdale, not here.
Have you spoken to Roddy?
Never mind Roddy.
Well, for £10, I could give you the Solaire for a season out of Helmsdale.
I'll take it.
You'll take it? How will you take it? You're a boy.
I'll bring you the money in the morning, Mr.
Will you, my God?
I'll bring you the money in the morning.
What the hell's he drinking, Mr. Henry?
Ambition.
I know you sell me a bottle of that.
University. Latin. Amo, amas, ananas, amos.
What are you on about?
Te amo, una.
What?
I don't need any more Latin than that. I'm going to buy a boat.
Your own boat?
My own boat. I'll be fishing out of Helmsdale.
What?
I said, will you marry me?
You're drunk.
I'm free. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. Will you marry me?
Finn! What are you doing putting your hands on my sister?
Oh, back off, Callum.
What?
Are you deaf as well as stupid?
Be careful, Finn, or I'll forget we're friends.
Come on, Una.
Leave hold of her! I don't care who you are.
Out of here! Out of here now! And if you think I'm letting a hot-headed wee fool like you...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go home, Finn.
Go home.
Go home.
I'll have your hide for this.
I'm sorry. All of you. I said I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, Finn left the drinking and the dancing behind him.
Not knowing where he was going.
Drunker than he'd ever been, head swimming.
Heart beating.
He walked. He didn't know where.
Some strange warning told him not to go back to the house where he had grown.
Not yet.
He scarcely knew where he was.
But something in his solitary soul welcomed the silence.
The lack of voices.
Faces.
Other bodies.
He belonged this way.
He felt.
Obscurely.
Alone. He was alone.
And he found himself in the house of peace.
And he thought, for the first time in years, of how he'd hunted, stalked, and killed a butterfly.
A grey fool.
God's fool, Roddy said.
And how he was ashamed.
And he thought of Una and what he had done.
And knew that he was the fool.
He was God's fool.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Finn will be here soon.
Yes.
I'll talk to him. Will you talk to the minister?
Yes, I'll arrange things if you want.
Yes, please.
Are you Are you happy, Katrine?
Let's not talk of such things, shall we? Are you finished?
Yes, yes, thank you. I'll be going. I'll see you.
At the wedding. You'll see me at the wedding.
Yes, yes, I'll see you there.
I'll be wearing Kirsty's shawl.
All right.
Oh, will you see if Dougal will play for us?
Yes, yes, I'm sure he will.
So you'll be wearing my shawl, will you?
Didn't think you'd mind.
And are you moving into his place?
Yes,
Have you told him that?
plenty time. Finn can live here.
It's all arranged then.
It will be.
So, you won't be needing me anymore.
I'll be in Roddy's house.
It was not the house that has kept me here.
I'm so grateful to you. But no, I won't be needing you anymore. Thank you. Look at the state of you. I've finished with breakfast. There's oat cakes in the jar. Some milk?
Yes, please. I'm going to buy a boat.
Finish your breakfast. I have something to tell you.
The wedding of Roddy and Katrine was going to be exceptionally popular.
Preparations began immediately.
Roddy Sinclair was looked on as a leader of the fishermen.
And his old saying that he was married to the sea.
I am married to the sea.
Come back at him with some enthusiasm.
He was often subject to any kind of flighting.
And his pride in his bride-to-be
In Katrine.
was none less obvious than his happiness within himself.
There's no fool like an old fool.
He said, the smile fairly curling of his teeth.
For a week before the wedding, my house was open to everybody.
And the harvest being in, we were in the mood for merriment.
Well, most of us anyway.
They brought presents of dressed fowl, butter, cheese, eggs, bannocks, and plenty else besides.
Mr. Hendry sent 20 bottles of his special.
And old One the smuggler brought a 2-gallon cask of rum. God knows where that came from.
This is going to be a proper wedding.
How do you mean, Mr. Hendry?
A wedding is a thing for everyone. In the sight of man, as well as in the sight of God. Love a wedding.
Why?
Because there is hope for us all, boy.
You're drunk, Mr. Hendry.
I never get drunk.
Stand on one leg then.
I can stand on one leg if I want to.
Let's see you then.
I don't want to.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Yes. Yes, I do. Oh!
I've £10 for you, Mr. Hendry. For the Solaire. I'll be needing a bill of sale.
But now,
Yes, please. I'm to pick her up in Helmsdale on Friday.
you're not staying for your mother's wedding. Man, what's wrong between you?
Nothing.
All right. All right.
Finn, come and see. Come and see the look on your mother's face. What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Look at them. Look how happy they are.
I thought they were old.
What?
I thought they were old and done with doing such things.
Oh, Finn, right now you're the oldest man I know.
There now. Are you sure?
Aye.
It was nearly a year Finn was away. He never went to his mother's wedding. On the day of the ceremony itself, he was out in the minch, hauling silver across his bows.
I fished out of Wick and Thurso, Stornoway and Portree. I was gone for weeks that turned to months. I grew more used to myself and my own bones a little better every day. And then one day, my crew and I found ourselves in a strange deserted place. North Uist, just a few farmers left there. And there was a girl there that sang a song. Well, it was a song that broke my heart. Dream of faces and forget my pride. It conjured my mother's voice. It drowned out my own complaints, my own foolishness. I forgot myself. It made me dream of Una's eyes and her smile. And it was then that I realised that it was time that I came home.
How do you expect him to sleep with you never leaving him be? They have to learn to sleep. I've done this before, you know.
Didn't you enjoy it? I'm enjoying it. I don't know why I didn't do it before.
You're a soft, stupid man.
I enjoy that too.
Where is he now, do you think?
He'll be out west. It will be the season here soon.
I know.
We must accept that life isn't only for pleasure.
You're not a child, Roddy. I accept it. I accept the possibility that you or my son may be lost or hurt. I accept it.
I know.
I don't have to like it, even if I have to suffer it.
Will you cling to your suffering forever?
It clings to me, Roddy, like wet clothes.
Listen. There's someone singing somewhere. You can hear it on the wind. It's an old song. What's the name of it again?
I don't know it.
You do.
I don't.
The rose. As the rose grows merry in time.
That's the name of it. Come to bed, Roddy.
In a minute. Listen for a minute.
Weather was foul as he rounded Duncansby Head. It was all he could do to keep the boat off the rocks. Not everyone was going to be so lucky.
Roddy, come quickly! They're run aground! Someone's run aground!
Stay here.
What if they're injured? I've Kirsty's medicines. Una, will you stay here with baby?
My brother Callum's still out there.
Then we'll take him to your granny on the way. Come on. It's the way with it. Oh,
Look! There!
Oh, who is it?
I don't know, I can't see!
Oh, they're shipping water.
Oh God, save them! Save them!
It's Daniel! Daniel Bannerman! Everybody else is in!
Oh, are you sure?
It must be!
My brother's still down there!
Oh, no.
They're working! But they can't get it off the rocks!
Callum!
Who is it?
It must be Daniel Bannerman!
Oh, God help them!
Oh, they've hit! They're filling! Cam!
It was in that moment, watching the boat break up on the rocks, Human beings became aware of the drawn-out, appalling nature of their own impotence. But Roddy, turning round like a trapped animal, saw Finn.
Is she in yet?
She's already breaking up!
If you hold on, I'll go down.
There's nowhere to anchor the rope!
Then I suggest you hold on tight.
Finn! Go on, Finn. You have to.
The rest of you, take the string when I tell you! Let go when I tell you! I need to feel him on the other end! If you want more rope, give 1 pull, 2 to hold steady, 3 to bring you back!
All right!
Take care of yourself and don't get killed or I'll murder you!
I'll go the edge!
Take the string! Don't hang on the rope! I need to feel him! He wants more rope! Pay it out! Is he down? Someone! Scream! Go to the edge! Is he down?
I can't see him! I can't see him! Oh, Jesus!
He's coming up! Take the string!
Careful! Then say send down another rope. It's Callum. He's hurt.
Where's Daniel? Where's Tom?
Gone. They're both gone.
Can you anchor me?
You okay?
You got it. Easy! Easy! Careful, Roddy! Easy, Roddy!
He's coming up!
He comes! He's got a rope on him! Take a string!
Come on!
Finn!
Roddy,
How are you?
good. You.
It's a fine day.
Yes.
How was Stornoway?
All right. They still talk about that pub you wrecked.
Did you bring me a present? There's my boy.
Here he is.
Tormund, say hello properly to your big brother.
Can I?
Do you hear Zuna coming?
Yes, she's...
Have you set a date for your wedding yet?
I've not asked her yet, Mother. Give her a rest.
She'll be asking you if you don't hurry up.
I've brought bannocks and cancan.
Delicious. Thank you, dear.
So you've met your wee brother now. Isn't he beautiful?
No. He's got Roddy's nose, poor thing.
So will you be settling back in Dunster then?
Yes, I suppose. There's the croft to run, and I may as well fish for Hendry as any other bugger.
Finn, what's your language?
Not to mention the other attractions of the place. Landscape, history and so on. Like this place. Old stones. And new life.
Tormund, do you see that there? It's a butterfly. Mummy calls it a greyfool. Daddy calls it a god's fool.
But I tell you now, we're all fools. And there's nothing to be done but try to make the most of it. And remember your manners in the meantime.
We call this place the House of Peace.